The formation of modern Vietnamese identity. Vietnam is a country with a rich cultural heritage, spanning thousands of years of history. However, the formation of modern Vietnamese identity is a relatively recent phenomenon, shaped by decades of colonization, war, and globalization. In this article, we will trace the evolution of Vietnamese identity from its ancient roots to its contemporary manifestation. Vietnam has been inhabited by various ethnic groups for thousands of years. The earliest inhabitants were Austroasiatic tribes, followed by the Dong Son culture, which emerged around 1000 BCE. This period saw the development of bronze casting, the founding of important cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, and the emergence of a sophisticated agricultural society. In the centuries that followed, Vietnam was ruled by various dynasties, including the Han Chinese, the Khmer Empire, and the Champa Kingdom. These influences left their mark on Vietnamese culture, including language, religion, and architecture. However, despite these foreign influences, the Vietnamese people maintained a strong sense of identity. Vietnam's modern identity began to take shape in the 19th century, with the arrival of Western colonial powers. France established a presence in Vietnam in the mid-19th century, and by the early 20th century, Vietnam had become part of French Indochina, along with Cambodia and Laos. French colonization had a profound impact on Vietnamese society and culture. The French introduced modern institutions like schools, hospitals, and railways, but they also suppressed Vietnamese nationalism and imposed their own cultural values. French became the language of education and the elite, while Vietnamese was relegated to the lower classes. Despite these challenges, Vietnamese national identity began to coalesce in the early 20th century. In 1919, the Vietnamese nationalist movement emerged, led by figures like Phan Boi Chau and Ho Chi Minh. They sought to unite the Vietnamese people, overthrow French rule, and establish an independent Vietnam. The struggle for independence was long and difficult, marked by wars, revolutions, and foreign intervention. During World War II, Japan occupied Vietnam, further weakening French colonial rule. Ho Chi Minh seized the opportunity to organize a resistance movement, which eventually led to the defeat of French forces in 1954. However, Vietnam's newfound independence was short-lived. The country was soon divided into two, with the communist North and the non-communist South. The United States became involved in the conflict, sending thousands of troops to support the South Vietnamese government. The Vietnam War was a brutal conflict, lasting from 1955 to 1975. It took a heavy toll on Vietnamese society, resulting in the deaths of millions of people and the displacement of many more. The war also had a profound impact on Vietnamese national identity, shaping the way that Vietnamese people saw themselves and their country. In the North, the communist government emphasized the need for national unity and the struggle against foreign oppression. They drew on Vietnamese history and culture to galvanize the people, and promoted the idea of a socialist Vietnam that was independent and self-sufficient. In the South, the government struggled to maintain control, facing opposition from communist forces and growing social unrest.